Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here, coming at you with the 10th and final video in our Platinum Trophy Guide for the last hero of Nostalgaia. In the last video I showed you guys how to earn the speedrun trophy as well as PvE mode for basically beating the game in under 5 hours, as well as fighting every single boss, including secret bosses, without summoning a single NPC. Why is his heartbeat so loud? But anyways, now we're on the 10th and final video, and in this video we're going to be going through and doing the opposite side of the insights, and we're going to be unburdening weapons instead. Or not just weapons, but weapons and armors. So sadly, on your playthrough that you had to remember all items, you can't go into New Game Plus and then get all the items again and then unburden them. If you pick up, say, a weapon that you already have that's remembered in New Game Plus on this character, it will then just get upgraded for free instead of just getting it all over again. So sadly, you do have to start a new playthrough, and there are certain NPC quest lines that we are going to have to do along the way to get all the items. So pretty much when those become important, I will talk about them, but for the most part it's just going to be a normal playthrough of another game for the most part. And I will state, you want to be able to back up your save. So if you have PlayStation Plus, you can use the cloud, and then you also, if you are just online, you can use a USB to back up your save. Those are the two options that I know of. That way you can save yourself a lot of frustration, which I will go into and why we do that in the playthrough itself. But we're just going to get started, and I'm just going to pick up from the first important thing, which I think will be in the depths or at the end of Orshaft Village, because we're going to be doing the Reservoir of Pains side of the story this time instead of the old crone. So once again, I'm going to see you once we are there. And like always, so since we're doing a new 100% playthrough, well, I'm not going to be guiding you through it again, but basically you just want to pick up everything again. So all of the weapons, all the armors that you can, and then yeah. So like I said, we'll see you once that's said and done. Okay, so I should state that there are a few items that you have to remember in order to actually progress through the game. So these aren't going to count against you in terms of having to unburden the remaining items, because you literally have to remember the sword here in order to progress. So this one will not count against you. And then I believe the other one that you can do that doesn't count against you is the blacksmith's hammer, which you need to remember that in order to be able to upgrade your weapons. It wouldn't really make a lot of sense to have it to where your character can't upgrade weapons in a run if they have to unburden everything. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly point that out before getting any further past the tutorials. So once you do that, as you'll see, you can now actually progress to Orshaft Village. So yeah, just keep that in mind that there are at least 2 items that I know of, and I think there's a few others. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but just note that the locksmith's serrated saw is probably one that you're going to want to you have to do this one. And then the other one is the blacksmith hammer. So just do those, and then the rest just don't ever remember, just unburden them, which I will go over when you want to unburden them and the reason why. For the most part, for the majority of the story, we're just going to only unburden, I believe, 1 item, and that is to progress a NPC quest. And that's in regards to the Shield of Inspiration here, as you'll see. But I will get into that when the time comes. So for now, I'll probably just see you guys at the end of Orshaft Village, or it's at some point in the depths. So see you there. Alright, like I said, towards the end of Orshaft Village, here we'll find our first interaction with the Reservoir of Pain. So, like I said, we're just going to be progressing through his story and making our way through. We're not going to be fully completing his questline as we don't need to, but
eager to reach some heights unsuited to it.
But eventually, we are going to be using him to get some more trophies as well, as there are some stuff related to him. Now, one thing I also want to bring up and remind you guys is that you also are going to want to buy all the weapons and armor from the Easy Maker or the shop, which I'm going to just show you guys right now. So anytime you get one of those Easy Maker keys is when you also want to bring them back to him. And like I said, you want to be just grabbing everything that you can from every area again, just to have it. So yeah, just take your time, fully explore, and just be patient. Like always, you don't need to speed run through things. Like I said, anything that's important, I will go over, like this right now. Because like I said, there are some things that we need to get. So we'll buy all of his weapons. Might as well, let's see, what does it do? Source defense. The homing pixel code is really good if you don't start as the sorcerer. But like I said, for the most part, just buy everything that you need from him, like armor and weapons, whenever you can get them. Because they will definitely be worth it overall. And as you can see, my weight load is kind of heavy. But for now, we're just going to move on, and I'll see you guys once we're in the depths to actually start the first NPC quest we have to do. So yeah. Alright, so now the next thing that we need to do is we need to progress some quest lines. So we're going to find a Lady, So, and Nameless Nero here in the depths, and we're going to assist them.
You don't what? There is a creature that it is so. Are you?
Now, just like before, you're just going to help them fight and defeat this creature found down below. For the most part, it is a pretty easy fight, as it mainly doesn't even target us at all. It targets Lady So. And then it might, yeah, it's only going to target her for some reason. Which is nice, because then it allows us to use our charged R2s to take it out, and you'll get a weapon for it, which we'll need. But upon doing so, we can talk to both of them.
We did it?
What was that creature? The piece?
So now we're going to be skipping to the, well, I'm forgetting, Festivity Row. Sorry about that. But, yeah, we're going to skip to Festivity Row, and that's going to be to progress Nameless Nero's questline. I will go over how to do that while having to unburden the shield that we have currently equipped. It'll all make sense once I talk to you about it, but I'll go over how to do it, how to properly do it, and how to avoid messing it up just for the sake of things. So, I'll show you when we get there. Before Festivity Row, you can find the Reservoir of Pain waiting for us after defeating the Grinder, and just before entering Festivity Row.
If you can, you don't prick your.
And now we can actually move on to his next location at Festivity Row, and then we'll also go over Nameless Nero's quest and how to proceed and get him to move forward, going from here. So yeah. Now, once here at Festivity Row, just next to the beacon out here on this balcony, is where we can find Reservoir of Pain. Next, you want to make sure that you exhaust all of his dialogue to move him to the next location. And then from here, I'm going to show you how to start and progress Nameless Nero's quest while also tying into the Reservoir of Pains. As normally you would have to remember the shield and give it to Nero in order for him to progress, but because we're unburdening everything, we then have to do this slightly differently. So just here from the beacon you will find him. So you want to make sure that you get to this point where you can try and offer him the shield.
You wished.
But as you'll see, he won't accept it. So now from here, what we have to do is just make our way all the way to the quest reward vault. Now it's pretty easy for the most part just to get there. So I'm going to show you guys what to do once we get there, and I'm going to walk you through how to get Nero to progress, and as well as just remember to pick up everything as well. You will find Lady So in this area, and you will find a flamberge right next to her, which you'll need to progress her quest to get her to move here to get the item. Just keep that in mind. So yeah, so now we're going to move on to the quest reward vault. Sorry about this. Just before Quest Reward Vault, you want to make sure that you start Vengeance's questline. So you'll find her here at the top of the elevator. And just like before, you basically just want to make sure that you just deal as much damage as you can to her.
No!
There you go. So now we can actually move on finally to the Quest Reward Vault. So sorry about that. Alright, so once here in the Quest Reward Vault, we're going to gain the ability to unburden items from the Reservoir of Pain here, as you'll see. So now, as you'll see, what we are going to do is simply just unburden the Shield of Inspiration. There we go. And then I think we'll also unburden the Shield of Nostalgaia as well to get some better overall defense as a replacement shield. And then that is all we're going to do for right now. We're not going to unburden anything else. And while we're also here, we're going to quickly come over and grab this Easy Maker key. And then we're going to make our way all the way back to Nameless Nero. Obviously, we're going to equip our shield. So, like always, we're going to go back to Nero, and then we're going to go back to the Easy Maker to get any more weapons and items that he might have as well, just to get them all in one go. So from here, as you can see, it's a pretty straightforward run to get to where Nameless Nero is, and then to flip around and then make a mad dash to where the Easy Maker is in Oreshaft. So as you'll see, you take the second shortcut, and then we'll come up here off to the balcony. And then now, because of us starting that dialogue, we can now give him the shield.
For me? Thank you. I thank you. Soon you'll be there.
And now he will be able to move on finally. So the main issue with that is if you don't talk to him and then you unburden the shield, then soft block, so then you have to start a new playthrough just to get him to progress, because we have to do that in order to progress another NPC, Blade the Bold. They both have to kind of intersect at the Keep of the Stolen Crown in order to progress and find them later on. It's confusing, I know. But from here, if we now proceed forward through the normal path, we can then unlock this side area back to the start of the depths. And this will get us the fastest way to head back to the Easy Maker for the most part. So what you'll do is you'll just unpress this gate right here. As you'll see, we'll be back in ore shaft, but instead of going through the right, we're gonna head over here and take the shortcut down, just like before, to make it to the easy baker. So as you'll see, we can take this, head on down, and once the game loads, as you'll see, the Reservoir of Pain does kind of teleport around after certain intervals, even though, like, he shouldn't be, and you can still interact with him. But from here, we can give him the first key,
Let us. I would submit for.
and now we can buy whatever new items that he might have. So here he has the butterfly knife, which I don't know why, but this automatically comes remembered. I don't understand that. But as you'll see, we also have the Predator's Putter, the Heaven's Rim, and that's pretty much going to do it for this moment. And now we can officially move on to, I believe, after the Quest Reward Vault, where we can continue to do Vengeance's questline, and then we'll proceed into Warlock's Wilds to then actually start Blade the Bold's questline. So I'll see you once we are there. Shortly after defeating Nom, you will see that Vengeance will show up.
I've put down my arms. Please. You might have taken this. I will be your guide, though I do not. Yeah, and I forget. I wish you well on your. Should you falter, I will.
Like always, you want to exhaust all of her dialogue, and then from here we're going to go to the Warlock's Wilds to then start Blade the Bold's quest. It's just like before. You want to get his icon and return it to him in the Quest Reward Vault, but I will show you how to do that in just a moment. Now, from the Warlock's Wilds beacons, you're basically just going to take the shortcut path from Warlock's all the way back down to Oreshaft, right here. Take this first turn. There we go. As you'll see, this will lead us all the way back down. The loading screen in between. There we go. And just over here we can find Blade the Bold's icon. Now all you have to do to get him to progress to the Keep of the Stolen Crown is to give it back to him, which he has found just at the end of the Quest Reward Vault, right before you reach the beacon there. Now, one last thing that I'm going to talk about while we're here in Warlock's Wilds, before I head backtracking to the Quest Reward Vault, is like always, you want to make sure that you just
Let me.
talk to the Reservoir of Pain. So now I'm going to backtrack, and I'll see you guys there. Now, once here, back at the Quest Reward Vault, we'll find Blade the Bold.
Finally, no, you don't, sir. Blade, alas, listen, if you find I wanna...
And you'll return his icon to him. Make sure you don't accidentally consume it, otherwise you'll have to start all over again,
Used to be when the cast
which is definitely quite a bit annoying. But now we can move on to the next section, and that is Warlock's Wilds. There's a few things we have to do, one of which will actually get us a trophy. Well, actually, two things will get us a trophy as well. So I'll go over those once the time has come. Now, once in Warlock's Wilds, you have to basically make your way all the way to Tower number 3, and here is where we're going to basically be doing the longest part of this run. So you have to start the Old Maiden Crone's quest, as well as continuing the Reservoir of Pains. Come on. So the first step is to basically take out this lady here. as she basically guards the way to get to the old crown. Come on. There we go. That would have been horrible. Okay. Once you get the translucent map, from here we're basically just going to start that. Now also at the very bottom here of tower number 3 on the right, you will find the reservoir of pain. Basically just talk to him to make sure that he's going to move. Then we're going to follow this back up. And then we're going to follow this down and around to get to the old maiden crone. So the reason why we have to do this is basically starting her quest will then give the reservoir of pain the option to interfere, so to say, and have us instead do his side. So if you don't do this, then you can't do this, which means you'll miss out on a trophy, or at least multiple trophies along the way. So just like in the original video, to get this to work, like I said, you have to backtrack all the way down, and then you come over here to where Lady So is. As you'll see, she's next to this log. And then you'll basically just follow the path that I'm taking. And this will lead you to the Misty Woods, as I call them. So from here, as you'll see, you now can see these glowing orbs for the most part. So you'll proceed forward, and then you'll come off to the right a little bit, and then you'll take a right, follow these around, and then you'll eventually find this rune right here. And then the rest of the path is pretty much straightforward, as most of these little glowing orbs aren't too far away for you to have to find. But you'll just want to follow them all the way until you reach this area up here. Oh, that's not good. I probably should be paying attention. I temporarily looked away. Thought it was good. There we go. But basically you'll come up here. You'll talk to the old maiden crone found in this hut.
Oh, always be can you bring my gift there. Bring my gift there.
And she'll give us her gourd that she wants us to give to the innocent one. Here we'll unlock the shortcut. So now, basically, what I'm going to do is show you why we need to do that. So, in order to get the Reservoir of Pain to give us his present that he wants us to give to the old maid, or to the innocent one, we have to first grab the one from the old maiden crone, like we just did. So now we have to make our way all the way back. Just gonna pop one of these real quick. So here in these little back rooms, you're going to want to come to Oreshaft Village. And just at the end of this long hallway is when we can talk to the Reservoir of Pain and be able to get his version. As you'll see, once we make it all the way down, he should be waiting for us right here.
Golly God! Oh, hey, how about an innocent?
And he'll give us his gift. So now we can proceed forward. Now, I normally am one to say you want to just spam through dialogue options whenever it comes to NPCs and stuff, but this is the one time I'm going to say don't do that. Trust me, it's important, because if you accidentally go too fast, you give the innocent one the wrong gift, and you have to start all the way over. take care of that enemy, and it's pretty much a solid run to get there. Just gonna try and take out some of these enemies here. But you'll come just over here into this building, and we'll find him here, but for the sake of things, I'm just gonna save and quit, and quickly reset, just to save myself the hassle of not having to deal with enemies. So once it reloads, like I said, you're gonna want to go through the dialogue options slowly. So take your time, just read, and since we've already given him the old maiden crones gourd, we already have that trophy. So, as you'll see,
Is that a present?
as you'll see, now you have the options. So now what you want to do is give him the reservoirs box, and that will get you the first trophy of this video. Ta-da! So now the next trophy we can get is actually going to be at the end of Warlock's Wilds, just before the Keep of the Stolen Crown, where we will find the Reservoir of Pain waiting for us at the gate. So I'm going to see you guys once we're there. Alright, so my apologies. So immediately after teleporting back to the beacon right next to tower number 3 where we just were, you can find the Reservoir of Pain waiting for us, and basically what you want to do is when talking to him, you'll want to begin the martyrdom, and then from here is when you can level up with him, and this was what will allow you to get your next trophy for leveling up at him. Pretty much that's all it is. It's just you can now level up at the Reservoir of Pain. So now I want to talk about the next trophy we're going to be working on. So if you come here into your actual character screen, you'll see we now have 3 tabs. One for Insight, which is for remembering items, which we only have 2 because those are the 2 that we are allowed to remember. But then we also have weapons that are already unburdened, or the ones that we have unburdened ourselves, which was the 2 shields that I've already gone over. So then you have your luck bonus, which we're probably not going to focus on too much this run. But the next one is the martyrdom penalties. Now in order to get this, you need at least 40 items unburdened by the Reservoir of Pain. Now I'm going to state that you can hold off on doing that. Now, what I would recommend doing is if you already have all 40 items that you know you can unburden, then that's great. You can do that. But I would highly advise backing up your save, then doing all 40 to get the trophy for having all of the martyrdom penalties unlocked. Then resetting the save so you lose all those penalties, because those make the game really hard. You take more damage, you do less damage, you have less stamina. It's basically a difficulty modifier to make the game harder with no rewards. So I would highly advise not doing that. But that's just me. If you think you're up for the challenge, I would still suggest backing up your save to at least see how bad it's going to be, rather than telling you to do it and then just say good luck. But so that's the second trophy in this video we've gotten, and like I said, I'm going to show you whenever I have 40 that I can do, which is probably going to be mainly weapons overall and other stuff. So that'll probably be towards the later section. So yeah. Once you make it though to the Keep of the Stolen Crown, as you'll see, we can find Vengeance waiting.
Please.
And we can just kind of talk to her to progress her questline, and then move forward. Not really too much to talk about here, so I'll see you once we're actually heading through the lower half of the keep, where we can find Blade the Bold and Nameless Nero. Alright, and like I said, just up ahead we'll find Blade the Bold and Nameless Nero waiting for us. So, like always, you'll just want to talk to both of them.
They didn't want.
And now we'll continue and move forward until we eventually get the armor, and I'll show you the next spot of importance and go over all of that, and it'll be just up ahead at the top of this little staircase area. So yeah, and as you can see, just up there in between those two little glowing mirrors is where you'll find the armor to give to Lady So. There's just like a couple more stairs you have to mess with to get it over there. So yeah. Alright, so once you're at the top here, as you'll see, the Reservoir of Pain will be waiting for us.
This castle's she won't, but it does the anywho.
So as you'll see, we now have a bunch of items that we can unburden. Obviously, we're just going to focus on the one that we need to do, the Civilization's Form. And then from here, we can kind of just slowly edge our way around and not attract attention of this werewolf right here to get this beacon. Reason why I'm doing that is so that we now have a spot to easily light, because if enemies are too close, then they won't work. But the reason why you have to do this part of Lady So's quest is because if you don't, then you cannot get a weapon. Now, you have to do this all before defeating Wonder Schonenberg, otherwise you are completely locked out of this and have to start over. I don't know why they have it to where there's so many things tied to stuff like this that causes you to get locked out, but they do. So, for the sake of things, we're just going to do this. So, yeah. And I will point out the room that I'm talking about specifically when the time comes. It's in the upper area next to the second shortcut elevator, right before heading up to fight Wonder Schonenberg. But for now, we'll come back.
Perhaps when you found something.
We'll offer the form.
Oh, my friend, I will never.
Ta-da!
Now that there's much of ourselves we can hide. Thank you. You and I play. There's much of thank you. You and.
So now, like I said, we're going to move on and head back and proceed forward. Now, for the most part, like I said, the only thing that we can possibly miss out on right now is just that weapon, which I'll go over. It's really unfortunate if you get all the way to the end of the game and you've started unburdening everything to realize you've missed out on something that you can't get anymore because of this. So yeah, so probably, actually I'll go over one more thing before I show off the weapon, and that's back at the Reservoir of Pain, and this is going to involve backing up your save to make your playthrough a lot easier. So we're going to skip to that now. Now, like I was saying, once back here at the Reservoir of Pain, what I'm going to highly recommend that you do is to back up your save. Now, if you have PlayStation Plus, you can do that, where you'll upload your save data from your system into online storage, or if you happen to have a USB sitting around that you're willing to use, you can do so, or you can wait until the very end of the game to do it, but I'm just going to go over what it is. Now, basically, what I'm talking about is the next trophy that you can earn as of right now. If you've been getting everything, buying everything that you can, you should already have over 40 items that you can unburden. And this will get you all of the martyrdom penalties and will get you that trophy. But the reason why I say that you want to just back up your save is all of these penalties make the game a lot harder on you, to where you take more damage from all kinds of sources. You have just a lot more working against you, and it's not worth it. So that's why I say to back up your save, get all the penalties to get the trophy, then reload so you don't have them, because I don't trust the system when it says that if you level up at a beacon that they are disabled. It does not make me feel like that's the case. But if you want to wait until the end of the game where we have a point of no return, then that'll also work as well. I'll go over that when the time comes. But for now, we can move on and just be through with the Keep of the Stolen Crown. And I think the next section that we're going to be moving on to is after where the Reservoir of Pain will give us a quest to take out the old crone, which will gladly oblige while we're heading to NPC City. So yeah. Shortly after defeating Wonder Schonenberg, we'll find the Reservoir of Pain, and he'll want us to kill the old maiden crone found in Warlock's Wilds. Now also what we're going to be doing, since we're progressing Vengeance's questline, is we're basically going to be... We'll take a quick rest here to just make sure we have our beacon set. There we go. So if we come down here, we should find her and the old man, and this is what will allow us to get her
Such is your
weapon.
name, and it is done. But here it too.
Then we'll talk to the old man,
To meet me within.
and he'll want us to meet him in the shortcut area. Oh man, that was a bunch of lag. So I'm going to show you how to get there, and also how to complete the Reservoir of Pain's quest that he just gave us. It is pretty easy overall. So from here we'll just take this path down and around. And instead of going down to the left, we'll just come up here, and then we should be taking the shortcut. And as you'll see, here she is.
Die, idiot!
As you'll see, she likes to do a bunch of source damage. But so do we. And once she goes down, you'll get the Ruined Determined toy, and we can be on our way into NPC City. Now at this point, you should have also gotten another Easy Maker key, and I would highly recommend going and giving that to the Easy Maker before making your way actually to the NPC City, since we're already taking the way that you would normally have to go. That is what I'm going to do, and if you want to wait until you get the last one to give both of them back to him at the same time, that is perfectly understandable. But now we're going to be moving on, and it'll just be right before taking on the narrator, and that will be probably me going over what I just said in regards to the Easy Maker. So yeah, so I'm going to quickly go and do that, or actually no, I'm going to wait until I go over it. So yeah, now we're just going to be heading into NPC City. Woo! Alright, so completely skipping NPC City, as there's not really much to it, but once you get here to the start of sequence, after the first beacon, you will find that there's these 3 ladders to take, and in the middle one, you'll have the next step of Nero's quest.
We've come a
And you'll just have to take out these 2 enemies, and they are not that hard at all. Okay, except for this one who's just beating the crap out of me. But as you can see... Oh man. Once you take them out though, you'll get 2 more items added to the collection, and we'll get Nero to progress to the next step. And just like that, we can now move on to the end where we're about to take on the narrator himself. Now, as you can see right here before taking on the narrator, I'm going to state once again, if you haven't given the Easy Maker his keys, you can take the elevator back down and take the shortcut all the way back to the Keep of the Stolen Crown, and take it all the way back down to the Warlock's Wilds, and then back to Orshaft Village to then give them to him. Like I said, you're going to want to do that before defeating the narrator, because upon doing so, he will then no longer be a vendor and you can't buy any items from him anymore or give him keys to get any new items. So another point of no return. But if you feel comfortable doing that and you're more than willing to, you can now head forward, and like I said, the main thing is that we're going to be finishing Blade the Bold's quest, and we have to make sure that
Anyway, I'm ready. I want...
he survives the first half. Like I said, if you can't get him to survive, you can just die or use a fireplace stone to reset until you get it done, and then beat the boss, which I'm going to skip to now. Now, shortly after beating the narrator, as you'll see, you'll get Blade the Bold's armor set and his icon back. So now we can move on to the last few things in regards to the playthrough. So I'll see you all once we're back at the Heartflow altar. Woo! And now once back here at the Heartflow altar, we're about to be heading into the last area, the lair of the adversary. And I'm going to state once again, you want to just basically run all the way through, grab all of the main items. I think there's only a couple weapons and an armor set or two along the way, which isn't much, so it's basically just to sprint through the area to get where you need to. But that last beacon right before fighting the pipe layer is where I'm going to say to stop, and it's where I'm going to see you next. Now along the way, you're also going to fight and defeat Nero here. He's going to ambush us, and we're going to complete his quest. Although the items that we get from him, we can't really do anything with. We basically just get the Shield of Inspiration that we gave him back. We get his shield, which can't really do anything with. And then we also get his icon. So pretty much nothing really of importance to talk about in regards to this little guy. Obviously, we're going to move him forward nonetheless. Oh, wish he wasn't standing so close. There we go. But yeah, so I'm going to see you guys once we are there. Alright, so once you've made it here to the cell, as you'll see, this is, like I've said, the point of no return. As of this point, you should have pretty much everything. I think I am missing one weapon in the rehabilitation pits. But once again, I am going to leave a link to at least 2 different guides that have small details and pictures included for you guys to follow to find all of the weapons and armor, again, like I did in the All Remembrances video. For the most part, there should only be a few left to like farm for. The Haunted Thoughts, the actual gold version in Festivity Row, the Welcome Uniform. Just as you can see, I already have, you know, pretty much there's just a few things left for me to get on this run. But the main thing, like I said, is going forward, if you go and defeat Mercucio, then you basically can't unburden any more items. Now, I've seen some people say that you still can find the Reservoir of Pain in some areas after, you know, like you beat the game, but you don't go into New Game Plus, so instead you can just free roam the rest of the game. Yes, that is probably the case, but I would rather just say to be on the safe side and to just not do that. So what I would recommend you do is you back up your save now, and then beat Mercucio, because as of now you should only have 2 trophies left. The other ending of the game, which I'm about to go over, and then the last one, which is to unburden all 71 items that you can in the game. Do note that there are 4 that you can't do, and I'm going to talk about those now. Obviously, the 2 I've already gone over is the Locksmith's Serrated Saw, which is needed to actually progress through the game. And then the other one is the Smith's Hammer, which you need in order to upgrade your weapons. The other 2 that you can't unburden are Mercucio's weapon and his armor set. Because like I said, if you beat him, you can no longer access the Reservoir of Pain, because he then crawls into the heart flow altar, and yeah. So that's why I'm saying the point of no return is right now, you want to back up your save, go and beat Mercucio to get the second ending of the game, which I will show you, and then once you have reloaded your save here, you can then go and get the remaining items that you don't have, and then go and unburden all of them at the Reservoir of Pain, wherever you can find them. He has various locations that you can find him. I know the common one is you can find him in front of the Nom statue in Orshat Village. You can find him at the middle section of the Keep of the Stolen Crown, right next to the shortcut elevator. There's a few other places you can probably find him, but that's basically it so far that I have found when running back through the areas. Like I said, for the most part, as of now, you should just be done. Those should be your last 2 trophies. I'm going to show you the ending for becoming a Great One yourself, but that is going to be the end of this video. Like always, I am Mr. Pilgrim. I do hope that these videos or guides are informative or helpful in any way, shape, or form. As always, I will see you all in the next Platinum Trophy guide. Woo!